we did not go to court. Remember, Kibaki was elected under the old constitution.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was elected to serve, as I said, under Section 9 for 5 years. This new constitution had provided in the 6th schedule, transition provisions, that the parliament that is in office at the time of the enactment of the constitution will serve for the entire term duration that is remaining of its term. That parliament's term was coming to an end on the 15th of January 2013. And the transition provisions also provided that upon the dissolution of that parliament and the dissolution of the Grand Coalition government then, we shall hold our first elections within 60 days. 60 days was ending on the 15th of March 2013. IEBC then chose the 4th of March to be the elections date. So it was well within the law to conduct that election. The second question, are my thoughts in line with Nyachai's thoughts? I have not had occasion to share these views with Nyachai, and I know him to be a regime apologist. He wants to serve, and I don't expect anybody who is holding a public office to share these thoughts. Why? They are benefiting. To them, if you are giving them an extra 1 year in office, they'll be happy. I don't think, but I've not yet consulted with him to hear his thoughts. The question about when does the 5th year start? Very important question. In terms of counting, I want you to understand these two things. We have two concepts, election cycle and term of office.
Right.
Don't mix the two.
Yes.
Term of office is standalone. Election cycle is also standalone. That is why we conduct elections even when the president or the member of parliament is still in office. The elections are conducted when they are still in office. The election cycle is self-executing. It is not contingent on the term expiring. Once the election has been conducted and a new person elected, that is when now the term expires. And I tie it to the question that was asked by Ochi, that will Ruto serve for 20 years? Always remember this. Our provisions in the Constitution on elections, the cycle of elections I'm telling you about, it is self-executing. Every 5th year, inside the 5th year from the last, we must go to elections. So no, Ruto cannot serve for 20 years, he cannot serve for 10 years without elections. Because for us, as Kenyans, as per our Constitution, every 5th year, we go and conduct elections on the 2nd Tuesday in August that falls inside the 5th year. What is the exact date? The exact date will be 11th of August 2026. Somebody may, next year, on the dot. Somebody may argue for 18th of August. That is if you say we only take the August that falls inside the 5th year. But if you take August the month, it will be the 11th of August 2026 as the date of our elections. Any other date can only be the 3rd of August, the 3rd August, the 4th August, the 5th August. In fact, to put this thing into context, there is no 2nd Tuesday of August that falls in the year 2027. There's none. There is no 2nd Tuesday in August the year 2027 that falls inside the 5th year. That date in 2027 falls outside the 5th year. The 5th year ends on the 8th of August 2027. There is no 2nd Tuesday in that period. Okay? There is no period. Remember, your cutoff date is the 8th of August 2027. Anything outside 8th of August 27 is now in the 6th year. The basic structure, yes, I agree. This is part of the basic structure of our Constitution because it's a self-executing provision of the Constitution that the sovereign, the people, are using to donate their sovereignty. That is why it is important that our constitution did not convolute the basic structure together with the term of office. It is a self-executing mechanism for the people to go and conduct their elections. It is not left in the hands of a politician to decide for you when elections are going to be held. Remember before, the president would use the election date as a secret weapon. Moi used to do it a lot. I will decide when to dissolve parliament. It's my secret weapon. I catch the opposition off guard and I rig the elections. And just to briefly touch on the questions about the threshold. ICC, you don't need to kill 1,000 people for the threshold to be met. The only basic thing you need to do is you must prove that the attack is against a civilian population. Number 2, it is systemic. And number 3, it is widespread. The killings that have taken place here in Kenya, the abductions, they are done by an organized group, right? The police, they are organized group. They are targeting civilian population. It is civilians being killed and being abducted. They are systemic and they are widespread. The threshold has been met for ICC. And I know there are some groups that are trying to push to open up cases before the ICC in respect to the situation in Kenya that led to the deaths and the abductions and the forced disappearances. But I also hasten to add this. We don't have to wait for ICC alone. We have now something in law called the universal jurisdiction concept. For those who are alive or attuned to international law or news, there's a time when there was a warrant of arrest issued against Kagame in Belgium and France. You can go to courts that have jurisdiction, that have adopted the concept of universal jurisdiction, where certain countries have said any death to a human being, any, they value human life, that even if you kill somebody in Kenya, and it is done in a way that constitutes crimes against humanity, we as a country, we can exercise jurisdiction and try that person, even in absentia. So don't be surprised if one day you see a warrant of arrest issued against William Ruto or Bungei in France or in Belgium for what has happened here in Kenya. Kenyans are exploring those as options beyond just ICC. And you can be tried in so many other jurisdictions. The other thing that I want to say as I conclude on this, you know, one thing that Kenyans have not appreciated. When you read your constitution, the structure of drafting was purely an American model. That is why you have a pure presidential system. You rejected the parliamentary system. You rejected the hybrid. You went pure presidential. That's American. You came up with a bicameral parliament, Senate and National Assembly. Just like in America, Senate and House of Reps. You came up with a Supreme Court. That's American concept. Commonwealth, we always have constitutional court. You go to parliament, you find majority side, minority side. Those are American concepts. In common law, it's normally the government side and the opposition. So also, in terms of term, the cycle of elections, you went 4 years. In America, the elections are every 4 years. You serve for 4 years, then we do elections inside the 5th year. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.